What's going on, guys? It's Unknown Player here, and in this video I've got for you guys a massive news roundup of everything in this new spring DLC, or the April update launching on April 12th, and it's going to be completely free to everyone who owns the Taken King. It does have a lot of stuff in it. It's nearly as big as the House of Wolves if you ask me, but this is not a paid expansion. It's a free update, and I'm going to be throwing info at you guys in this video because there are a ton of stuff to talk about, and I'll probably make separate videos on some of the things where we take a little bit more of an in-depth look at some of the aspects of this April update. So firstly, let's take a look at this main cover image. We can see the main strike boss and the main enemy of the April update, which I'll talk about more in a second. We can see this Titan wearing some new armor that has this blue glowing effect going on, and also this really awesome looking sword. It's like a purple sword, definitely a void weapon, and we don't know if it's legendary or exotic. I don't really care, but I definitely want my hands on this thing, and I cannot wait to find out how we actually get this weapon. And there's a Warlock with some brand new gear as well, with also a red glowing effect going on. I'm not too sure how this effect is working and what it is, but we're going to find out in the next week's reveal stream what is going on with these visual effects. But it seems to be a new aspect of this update as well. There's new Taken effects, and there's also new glowing effects on your armor. If we look at his weapon, we can also see a Taken looking shotgun. So it seems we can apply a Taken effect to our weapons. Either it drops like that and it always looks like that, which I don't think is the case because we've seen other weapons that don't have the Taken effects. I think this is a perk you can actually unlock, or something you can do to your weapon, almost like a weapon camo or weapon skin, where you can actually shade out your weapon to make it look like this with the Taken effects, which I cannot wait again to find out how we actually do this thing. And then on the right side, you can see the Hunter wearing his Taken looking helmet and his Taken looking gear. Again, we have to find out in next week's stream how this actually works. Now, into the actual details of this update, the new light level is going to be 335. Isn't as significant as I thought, honestly. It's only 15 levels, which is still cool to have, but they did say significant. I don't really think 15 levels is that big a deal, but of course, it's still going to be cool to have those extra levels, and hopefully they actually mean something. Hopefully when you're 335, it actually makes a difference, and it makes people want to grind to the max level. Unlike now, there's really no incentive to be anything above like 315. There's also new bounties, as you can see right here with Oryx, and possibly elsewhere too. I wouldn't be surprised if they overhauled the entire bounty system and had brand new ones, kind of a refresh, because those did get a little bit stale when you do the same ones week in, week out. There's also new quest lines, and some of them you can see right here with Oryx and Petra, which of course are going to have exclusive rewards, in addition to a PlayStation exclusive quest line, which gives an exclusive reward, which you don't know what it is yet. And there's also a new mission, which is pretty interesting to hear. We normally get those with expansions or new games or something, but there's going to be one new mission, and of course we have to find out, see what that is. They're probably not going to spoil it, but there will be one new mission in this. And then finally, we also got a mini trailer for the update, which you can see gameplay of the new strike in. Now, the boss of this strike is actually Malok, and you can see him in the Shrine of Oryx. That's where we're going to fight him. I made a video recently speculating that the strike boss of the new Blighted Chalice strike would possibly be Malok, and that turns out to be true. So he is the boss, and that of course also means we'll be able to get the helm of Malok, which is the Hunter helmet, as the strike specific armor piece. Now, looking at the footage, it appears that we're going to be starting the strike in the Fogoth room, where there's a bunch of thrall rushing us, and that actually fits perfectly into the Grimoire for Malok, because it did say that he spent a lot of time at the Shrines of Oryx. So the Shrine of Oryx room is going to be where we're finishing off the boss, and where we're going to have the final boss battle with him. Now, he's not the only boss we're going to be getting in terms of strikes. They've also redone the Winter's Run Archon Breeze strike. It's a shame it's not all of them, like Sepix Prime and the Nexus Mine, all those ones, but it does appear that we're going to be getting a Taken version of the Archon Priest, where Axor has been taken. We can see a couple of images of that right now. In addition to that, there's also going to be Crucible updates and sandbox tweaks coming in this update, and they specifically mentioned the weapon balancing, which of course means some buffs and nerfs to existing weapons and specific weapons as well. So it probably means that scout rifles won't be the best weapon type anymore in Crucible, and maybe something else will be, maybe like auto rifles and hand cannons. Who knows at this point, but it's definitely going to be a change. Now, as most of us expected, Prison of Elders is going to be the main endgame activity that we're using to get this new gear, and that is going to be our source to be able to obtain new armor and new weapons. And there's going to be one new Prison of Elders at level 41 at 260 recommended light level. That's like a lower tier that most people won't be going in. The one that everyone's going to be going for is level 42 version with 320 light. Of course, the 42 at 320 light is going to be the one that everyone's going to be doing, but the level 41 rewards something called Sterling Treasure, which seems to be a new currency or reward. We're going to have to find out what that means next week. But 320 light is going to be the new base standard for this level 42 version of Prison of Elders. There's also a new thing called the Elder's Sigil. This is essentially like a Trials of Osiris passage card, and it works in a very similar way, goes in the same place in the inventory. And there's two challenges on this card. We don't know whether they're going to change or rotate, but these are challenges we've seen on the first Elder Sigil, and these are: the first one is to get 30k score in a single match of Prison of Elders, the new version, which gets you a guaranteed 335 weapon, and the other challenge is to get 90k score total in a week throughout all of your Prison of Elders matches, and that's going to get you a guaranteed 335 armor piece. There's going to be 16 weeks where it's basically new stuff, and each one is going to be different, including 8 bosses, so 16 weeks of different combinations of the bosses and different rotations of enemies. And some of the bosses have new mechanics. A lot of them are reskinned from Prison of Elders, but they have new mechanics. So the Overmind isn't just a bullet sponge anymore. At this time, he will actually search for players, and if he spots you, you'll be detained. And there's also a Taken Knight who does lots of burn damage that lasts a long time as well, and the Pilot Servitor that teleports and drops the shock mines at you. In terms of rewards, you're going to get end of activity loot just the same as you would the end of a Crucible, which could be engrams or something like that. And there's also checkpoints in this, which is awesome to hear. You don't have to do it all in one run like you did the old Prison of Elders, and there are 3 actual rounds in this new challenge mode that you have to do, and if you leave, you'll come back with the same score that you had when you left. So checkpoints, definitely a good thing. Now, the piece of loot that they got after their run, when they did the 30k challenge, like I mentioned, they got a guaranteed 335 weapon, which is the Her Fury sniper rifle, and I'm actually really excited for this weapon. It's an impact weapon, just like the 1000 yard. It looks very similar to the 1000 yard or the Her Benevolence from year 1, which was statistically one of the best snipers in the game. So hopefully this can actually compete with the 1000 yard. There isn't just one weapon in the Crucible in terms of snipers anymore. Now, it also had all of its perks already unlocked, which is interesting. Maybe that's just an added bonus you get. You don't have to sink the XP into it, which is nice. And then there are 2 nodes on the left over there, which appear to be brand new, and they seem to be kind of like weapon skins or shaders or taken effects to your weapons. And one of them we know is a red chroma glow. So you can see it in the preview when they hover over it. And we have to find out more about that next week. Now, in addition to that, there's also going to be the King's Fall normal drops that will be dropping at 320 now, and hard mode drops will be dropping at 330. So the King's Fall raid has been boosted slightly with the rewards, and the enemies will be more difficult accordingly. There's still challenge modes, but the enemies will be a little bit more difficult, and the drops will be a little bit raised to the new light level. Finally, Court of Oryx is actually going to be bumped up as well, with 335 artifacts dropping, of course harder enemies, and it appears that that is going to be how you get your artifact, which will round off your 335 character, and that is how you hit the new max light level. So that has been a ton of information I just threw at you guys. Don't worry, I'm going to do more detailed videos talking about these specific things which are really interesting in the coming days, so look out for those videos. Make sure you drop a like rating on this video if you enjoyed it, and if you're excited for the April update, and of course comment down below with your thoughts. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.